Zora Neale Hurston was an African American writer, anthropologist, and filmmaker. She was born in Alabama in 1891, but grew up in the neighboring state of Florida, which is the setting for much of her fiction. Hurston was a darling of the Harlem Renaissance, the literary and artistic period which flowered in Harlem, New York, beginning around 1917 and running throughout the 1930s. However, like a number of her peers, her literary efforts were overlooked or forgotten. After being out of print several decades, in the 1990s, her writings were rediscovered by readers after HarperCollins reissued four of her novels, including Their Eyes Were Watching God, one of her best known works. Zora Neale Hurston happens to be one of my best loved African American authors, along with Richard Wright, Wallace Thurman, James Baldwin, Ralph Ellison, Jean Toomer, Charles Chestnut, and Alice Walker. In fact, I had not thought of this prior to making this video, but Zora Neale Hurston's use of early 20th century Black Southern dialect in her writing reminds me of late 19th and 20th century writers Charles Chestnut's method of storytelling. Both were very adept at capturing this rhythm, the style, the humor, and sometimes sarcasm of how African Americans in the South express themselves. Despite loving the other authors previously mentioned and wanting to read more writings by other African American authors of the period, my love of Zora Neale Hurston's writing is very personal, and I feel a part of my family's heritage. The first time I read one of her books, I immediately recognized the language of my maternal grandparents, who lived way out in the countryside. My grandfather was a farmer and a carpenter, and my grandmother had helped him with the farming and also did housekeeping for white people. Zora Neale Hurston's writing brought back vivid and happy memories of visiting my grandparents every weekend, spending a few weeks during the summer vacation from school with them and my two aunts, going to church, and preparing for the rural community event of the summer, the church revival. Her writing helped me to recall the words of the old black folks. Calling them old black folks is no disrespect, because here in the South, we refer to the two main people groups as black folks and white folks. In the last year or so, I've read her novel Moses, Man of the Mountain, and one of her short stories called Spunk. In Moses, Man of the Mountain, where Pharaoh is a representation of the white boss man or slave master, and Moses and the Hebrews are the black slaves, Hurston understands human nature and spirit as well as a Leo Tolstoy. Writer and also folklorist, Zora Neale Hurston was a master at mixing humor, wisdom, and pathos. When I read her words, it is like the old generation. My grandparents and great grandparents are still alive. They are gone, but their words resonate. Zora Neale Hurston died in 1960. Certainly, she is among the classic greats of American literature. So ends video number 3 of my ongoing series, Videos on a Whim, Short and Sweet. In the description, I have posted links to more information about Zora Neale Hurston and her works. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. This is Sincere. Until next time.